How's it going, Noblesville? We've got our next athlete interview, and this one is probably going to be the most unique one that we have, and this one's going to be super cool. Before I introduce her, I'm going to give you two stories that I love about this swimmer. But this first one is one of my favorites because I was with this swimmer when I was at Asphalt Green in New York City, and I was only coaching there for about a week, and this girl was a part of a pair of two swimmers from Russia. And the one that is with me now was getting ready to leave on this training trip. And I had been there for like 3 days. And the coach that I was working with named Rachel, you guys know Glenn. He came out and spent a couple days with our team. But his wife was the head coach. And she says, oh, you're going to be running the workouts for this group. And by the way, another swimmer from Russia is coming in. And I'm not sure if she speaks any English. And I went to Anna, who is with us now, and I was like, what do I do? Like, I have no idea what to do. And she's just like, I don't know. So the swimmer with me here is named Anna Belosuva. And it was very cool to be with Anna and her other friend from Russia, Christina, because they were from Russia. And it was unique because they had a different background. They had a different experience, and they did things a little differently. And sometimes words and ways that we would describe things to our swimmers didn't always make sense to them because there was the language barrier. And for me, it was a lot of fun to work in that atmosphere. And I actually have my little black books, and in one of those little books is an entire page of Russian words that Anna was constantly trying to teach me that then I would go try to use during the swim practices and probably just use horribly and not pronounce them correctly. And I actually think, if I remember correctly, everyone says Belosuva, but I think she says the proper way to say it is Belosuva. Am I right?
Yeah, that's
yes,
right.
Still got that.
Great, wow. Wow, I didn't think you'll keep that.
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome.
So Anna was a swimmer for us at Asphalt Green. After we left Asphalt Green, I believe you ended up at Nation's Capital, right?
Yes, that's
and then
correct.
She ended up swimming at Texas A&M. So my second story is Anna is a breaststroker, and I know she's probably like the 5th breaststroker I've had on. But I also, quote unquote, say she's a mile backstroker because at one of the meets at Asphalt Green, we had a mile, and she asked if she could do it backstroke, and Rachel was like, sure, I don't really care. So Anna has done the only mile backstroke that I have ever seen in a swim meet. So
yeah, and that was the only mile I ever swam. So.
Yes. So that is super cool. So Anna, I'm going to turn it over to you. Would you kind of start at the beginning and talk about how you got into swimming, what that was like, swimming as a teenager, as a senior swimmer, and then into your college years?
Yeah, well, so I started swimming solely because of my mom's dream about me being a swimmer, and she tried with all of her kids prior to me, but all of them ended up being basketball players. And I kind of, as a young kid, was planning to go the same way because my entire family played basketball. My dad was a basketball player. My mom was in a USSR national team, and so it was my goal. Swimming was just a way to kind of not get my mom mad and, okay, please her and keep it going. But at some point, I talked to my dad and was like, I really want to do basketball. I was about 12 at the time, so about the age to start playing basketball. And so me and my dad kind of had a plan, and this is probably one of my favorite stories. And my dad called my coach, swimming coach, and told her that I was sick and that I won't be at practices for a while. And coach said, all right, well, I hope she feels better. She can come back as soon as she feels fine. But instead, we were telling my mom that I was going to swim practices, and my dad used his connections with coaches that he previously played, coaches that he knew of, and was kind of going around showing me and what I can do to them. And I was wetting my suit and kind of damping my towel a little bit so when I come back home I can just hang it and be like, oh yeah, I came from swimming practice. And then maybe 10 days into that, the swim coach told my mom, and when my mom found out, it was a huge argument. I never seen my mom be so mad because for her, she was like, I was a tiny, scrawny little girl. Yes, I was tall, but I was really skinny. And if you push me, I will fall completely and probably also break something along the way. So she was really against me doing any basketball because she knew that I won't be any good at it. But coaches in swimming loved me, and she loved them, and she trusted them completely. So we kind of had this serious conversation with the coaches and my mom, and my mom persuaded my dad that I wouldn't be any good in basketball. So I stayed in against my will and kind of kept going since, just because I didn't want to disappoint my mom, and later my dad too, who finally believed that I can do it. So yeah, it was tough, and never liked swimming, to be honest, which I guess might seem weird for a lot of kids in U.S. because most of the time you guys want to do it. It's not just because someone's making you do it. But then I started winning junior nationals and became a part of the junior national team and later of the national team, and kind of realized that I have a way of getting into U.S., which has been my dad's dream since I was a little kid, but without spending a whole ton of money on school, which for us was a big deal because salary here is different and it's in bubbles, and if you translate it into dollars, it's completely different amount of money. So I kind of stuck with swimming and then moved to New York where my stepmom lived. My dad got remarried. So we decided to stay kind of close to her because I was just 18 at the time. And even though I was kind of more on the independent side, my dad still wanted someone to be with me there in case something happened. So I stayed there, swim at Axel Green, right?
Yep.
It's the pool, I believe. Yeah, and then Rachel, I really like Rachel and Alex, and you were guys great coaches. And considering that I spoke absolutely zero English, I could understand a little bit here and there, but most of the time it was just me smiling and waving and kind of looking around, seeing what other kids were doing. So considering that they had to put up with that, it meant a lot to me, and without them, I wouldn't end up where I am right now. So, and as you can hear, my English is still not perfect, but it's much better than it was then, I promise. Yeah, and then Rachel, she quit her job there, and with her, I kind of without her, I didn't connect with the coaches that were left there, so I decided to move to Maryland where my aunt and uncle, not blood related, but they were good friends of the family, lived there. So I swam with Nation Capital and Bruce Gemmell for almost 2 years, so a little more than 2 years, until I went to Texas A&M. And with them, it was kind of, I already understood more of English. I studied a lot. I went to community college, so it was just kind of hard balancing both swimming and education and going to classes every day because in Russia it was completely different, and I was missing for a training camp for months, and then I would just be back home for less than a week trying to do all the tests and quizzes at the same time, and then would go on away. And usually I would, as a huge procrastinator, would leave all the studying until like the last minute. So, and it kind of worked for me. So I kind of got into that habit, but it was completely different in the U.S. and I couldn't do that anymore. So I was struggling with that, and coaches there were helping me out with that too, just mentally, I would say. So swimming there was mostly just keeping me in shape and trying to do better, but I wasn't putting any big goals for me aside from going to school eventually. And then Texas A&M reached out to me, and I went on a recruiting trip, completely fell in love with the team, with the program, with the whole school spirit and what it represented. And kind of seemed like a cult at the moment because of the amount of traditions they have and how strongly they all follow it. Not because they're forced to, but just because it's the spirit that they're all bought into. And eventually I bought into it, like, on the second hour being there, probably. So I committed almost right away. And when I came to the team, it was no longer about me, which I've never felt that before. It was for a bigger cause. It was not only me trying to swim my best time, which, again, I never really cared about swimming that much. It was just a way to get out of Russia for me. So I was never really motivated until I came to college and became a part of something bigger. I saw how much the girls wanted the championship ring and conference ring, and how much they wanted to be NCAA qualifier, and how much they wanted just Texas A&M to be on swam or give publicity to the school that they all love so much. So I kind of bought into that. And honestly, first year I dropped like 5 seconds on my 200 breaststroke and 3 seconds, I think, on my 100 breaststroke. 2.5 seconds on my 100 breaststroke. So, which I didn't even think I can. Not only that, I never even saw the progress, I guess, during practices, because at that point yards still meant nothing to me. three years later. But the coaches always seemed calm, and they never pressured me to, come on, you gotta do this, you gotta be the best you can, and all of that. It just kind of came with them being there and with them supporting you, your academic and athletic life. And I don't know, it just kind of all happened. And then I was like, wow, I didn't even know this possible. And after that, I guess my dad's Olympic dreams and my mom's Olympic dreams, and my granddad, who when I was a little was really, really into me becoming an Olympian, kind of in a joking way, but I don't think he was joking. I just kind of took it as a joke because I was like, come on, you know?
Yeah.
And since then, I set my eyes on 2020, which I guess is now turning into 2021. And I actually gonna graduate in May, and I'm gonna do a master's in real estate at Texas A&M. And luckily it ended up being that way because I wouldn't want to change my coach there now, just because of the trust that I built with him and the kind of program he's had, which I haven't seen around U.S. or honestly even around Russia much. It's kind of something that was really close to my biggest coach in Russia. It was all into technique, but the approach to that was different. You weren't forced to do anything. It's just solely your will and, I don't know, your ability, I guess, mental and physical. So, yeah, I hope that answers your question.
It does. Yeah, that's awesome. So it's interesting because you said when you stepped into Texas A&M, there were so many of these traditions and there was this history there before you, and it allowed you to realize it was no longer about you. Was that hard? I mean, because you kind of said everything before that, it was just kind of like you were kind of in your own little world with your swimming. So what did you do when you stepped into that environment and this new culture that was so much about A&M and not so much about, Anna? Was that hard for you?
I honestly didn't even notice the process because for me, I never cared about swimming meets, so I was never like getting super nervous, even if it was like a junior world or some other worlds or anything like that, like a huge competition where everybody's getting nervous. I was like, well, all right, I'm kind of nervous just because I might not swim that well, but nothing's going to happen if I don't swim well. Okay, well, my coach will yell at me for 5 minutes, but really that's it. So, and I was never like considering myself being a great or a potential great athlete. So I was never nervous about that, I guess. And when I came into the team, I didn't even notice myself buying into this whole belief that the team can achieve great things, and it just happened like that, with all the tradition and even football games or other gatherings with the team and swim practices and meetings with the coaches. I didn't even notice myself, and then when the first conference came around, and I touched the board, and I saw that I won a 100 breaststroke, I was like, and I actually kind of outthrown, I guess, my teammate that was swimming next to me, since she was champion a year before me, and I was so sorry. I was crushed. I was like, oh no, what have I done? I didn't see her when I was swimming because she was on the right side of me, and because I guess I tilt my head or something. I don't know. I see better on the left. And even going into that, I knew that it's gonna be her and me, and I kind of didn't care about others. So I was not looking around much. But then I saw the wall, and I was like, the board, and I was like, oh no. But I turned to her, and I almost started crying because I was like, I'm so, so sorry. And she started crying just because she was so happy for me. And I guess that was by far my favorite moment, and seeing the team run up to you. It was awesome. It was honestly amazing, and I getting teary-eyed just thinking about it again. And she actually taught me a lot because we obviously went through all the practices together as a breaststroke group, and our breaststroke group was huge. And then we kind of was like, there was the hashtag breaststroke you and breaststroke powerhouse and all of that. So we had a really, really big breaststroker team. So all of those girls had a huge impact, and it was just for them and for the team at the moment. So I didn't notice how that happened. It's just now sitting back and thinking about it. It was definitely a lot different and kind of made me fall in love with swimming, I guess, for the first time, because my goal always been to get out of the U.S. And since I went to A&M, I kind of already did. So I was like, well, I guess the goal for me is over. Just going to swim now. And I wasn't excited at first because I was like, oh, he's just going to drag me along, but it never did. And I never regret my decision of going there. So, yeah.
That's awesome. So you're actually in Russia right now. I learned that when we got on this call. So I think it would be really cool for our swimmers to kind of hear what were the big, like because now you've swam in Russia, you've swum in the United States. What are the big differences between those two countries for young swimmers? And I know you weren't here when you were a young swimmer, but you've seen more now that you've been here. What do you think are the big differences for like a young swimmer in the United States compared to Russia?
I would say a big difference is, as I said, I was mostly forced to swim, and it was not only from my parents, which I'm sure a lot of the kids in the U.S. might be getting the same, and I actually knew a couple kids that were swimming only because their parents wanted them to do something, not just to sit at home and watch TV and play video games all the time. But mostly coaches, too. So if they see you have some sort of potential, they would push you. If they see you're not having a great day, they would push you even more, So it was more of a force kind of you have to rather than if you want to or you can approach. When in U.S., if you don't want to, the coach feels that, and he doesn't want to work with you either. It's not if you don't work as hard, he doesn't see you work as hard, and even if you're talented, yes, they might approach you and talk to you about, look, we see you not maybe working hard enough, and we believe in you that you can do better. Let's talk about what's going on, stuff like that. In Russia, it's the communication between coaches and the kids is more of a authority approach. The kids are a little scared of the coaches and stuff like that. So, but it's how it is all around here. The people are really scared of their bosses, and then they go and lash out on people who are under them in the workspace. So it was kind of norm, and even if I swam my best time, I would never hear solely good job from a coach. It would always be either like complete yelling and bursting out and like, oh my God, what have you done? Or like, okay, that wasn't a bad swim, but, and criticize you more. It was a fair criticism. I got lucky with my coaches here. They were never like over the board with criticism, and they were really fair, and I'm so thankful for that. But when I came to US, and mostly with a national capital, and just hearing other coaches at the meet, it was always good job, you know, and nothing really, and I kind of had to get it out of them because it was like, it's not a good job, right? Like, it's all my time, you know, I didn't see me swim, so what do you think? What have I done wrong? What have I done great? What could I be doing better? You know, like, just in that, it was a lot different to not have that authority pushing you, which when you guys left, and there was a new coach for a month that I had to stay there because I was still taking some English courses, so I couldn't move out. But I didn't even swim. I was just running, which I absolutely hate running because I don't know how. But I was just running in the park, and I couldn't make myself swim. I was like, I don't know why. Like,
Yeah.
you know, my season was over at the moment, so I was like, I don't really care. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, so that's for a younger
That's
swimmer.
about it. And
Yeah.
yeah.
What do you think are the big differences between Russia and the United States, between like where you're at now as a college swimmer, or, you know, the kind of that tip of the spear, you know, older swimmer? What are the big differences there?
I think here a lot of people, they don't look beyond swimming. They don't really care about their education because it's impossible to stay a high, like, national level pro athlete and get education at the same time. So they either do, but it's not like they don't know anything, and it's like an online school from your knee, you know, like just kind of download their answers and stuff like that and submit it, and nobody checks you, so nobody cares, you know. As long as you're a national team, you come to the teachers and professors, and they're like, oh yeah, I completely understand. You don't have time to do it. So I started actually at the end of my high school falling into that mentality of like, oh, I don't care, you know. I don't care about school. I'm a swimmer now, and I knew that if school doesn't work out, I'll be getting paid from national team enough for me to do something with my life and with that money. But I came to US, and a lot of kids were like, oh my God, what college am I gonna go to? I need to get my grades as high as I can because I really love this school, and I really want to be a lawyer or a doctor or a nurse or absolutely everything that was in their mind. And they were interested in biology or engineering or biomedical studies, and things that at the moment for me were like, this is crazy, you know, like, you guys are super smart, and I here just barely understand what you're even saying. Like, I don't even know how to translate biomedical science into Russian, you know, like, still actually don't know. But, yeah, it was just, it kind of opened my eyes to swimming is not forever. Yeah, I can keep pushing as long as I am healthy, you know, as long as my body allows me to, but, I'm 23 now, and I was about to quit because my body is giving up already, and what am I going to do after, you know, like, I gotta have to stay on my feet firmly somehow, and in Russia, my choice would probably be a coach, just from my experience and what I've had, but it's not a well-paid job in Russia at all. They get paid like absolutely very minimum, and if you're lucky, you're gonna get someone who's willing to work hard, you know, like, and it's just tough. It's way different than it is in US, where especially universities, like tech coaches, they're getting paid a lot of money, and they're doing what they love to do, and those are the best coaches. Just because, I mean, they're getting paid fairly, so and they do it just because they love to, and the competition is great. So I don't know, it was different in the way of looking into your future and education aspect of it, you know, and just caring for that as well as swimming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you had a successful time at Texas A&M. It was kind of neat because I knew you went there, but then after a while you started seeing your name pop up on swam articles and how well you were doing. What do you think is some of the main things that you did to be successful in that atmosphere?
I think I was just trusting the process, honestly. It was never a moment that, I mean, not gonna lie. there were a lot of moments where I'm like, oh, I don't want to do this. This is so hard. Why do I need to do this? Especially with our program training all four of the strokes, and we have practices that are solely butterfly or solely backstroke or solely freestyle, and I was like, I do not need those types of breaststroke. But kind of hearing Steve's approach, our head coach approach, and to all of that, and seeing that it has been working before, those thoughts weren't staying long in my head, and after a 50, I would say they would be gone, because I would be like, no, listen, it has been working. You don't have to fix what's not broken, So I just kind of trusted him, trusted our weight room coaches, because I felt that I'm getting stronger, when I saw the progress myself in the weight room. And my first year, actually, at NCAA, during my swim, I tore my groin, and I heard it pop up. So I was like, oh my God, but I couldn't cry in front of the public, so I kind of just stumbled to our seating area, and the doctor came to me, and he helped me a lot. And my second year was fine. I didn't have any injuries. And this year, pretty early on, I found out that I tore my meniscus somehow. I don't know. And we kind of decided that, yes, it is bothering me, but I can stick through that until the end of the year. And then at SEC, I injured my back diving in 400 on final, and injured it so badly that after a medal ceremony, I kind of like, when I dove in, I blacked out, and for the first 35 yards, I couldn't see anything, absolutely anything. It was just black, and I smacked into the wall with my face, and then still somehow ended up getting a medal, and then they just helped me through all of that, and I don't know what I would have done if I was in another team, or what other coaches would have done, but they never pushed me beyond my limits if I wasn't willing to do that. And if I was willing to do that, they were right beside me, they were sticking with me through that. And we had a lot of conversations about, they were trying to persuade me to, if your knee is bothering you, it's serious, maybe you want to get a surgery, but it would take me 4 months to recover. And I was like, no, I want to do this for the team. I want to stay. And so, which I guess ended up not even being that big of a case, because NCAA was canceled. So, but yeah, I don't know, just the trust, their trust in me, they're willing to take me when my times weren't. I mean, I was a pretty good breaststroker coming in, but I wasn't the best one. I wasn't the greatest one, and them just trusting in me and kind of made me trust them and what they have been doing. And he's been there for, I think next season is going to be 22nd season he has been coaching there. So I don't know. I just the trust between everybody on the team, not only the teammates, not only the coaches, but the whole staff and everybody around you. You're trusting in the goal that you put up for yourself, and they're helping you get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, you ready for some rapid fire questions?
Sure.
All right, what is your strength as an athlete?
My strength, I would say I'm mentally very strong. I don't think it's hard to break my will or like kind of intimidate me into doing something or not doing something or being scared of my competition, because I'm not a competitive person. Like, if you win, I'm happy for you. At the end of the day, I don't really care who wins. I just want to be done with the race, you know? So I try to be done as faster as I can. So I guess that's the biggest concern, my biggest strength, and not only in swimming and everyday life too. I believe that everything does happen for a reason, and I believe that happens, something happens to me, that means that I'm capable to go through that. So it's really hard to put me in the kind of panic mode and being like, oh my God, I don't know what to do now, or oh my God, this is too much for me, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. What is your favorite book?
My favorite book. It's actually a Russian book, Russian classic. It's called Dead Souls by Gogol. It's I would say it's a little hard to read because of just his endless explanation of the nature and all of that stuff, which kind of makes you fall asleep a little. But I think it shows you characters with absolutely different perspectives of the world, and there's one of them, a lady that's called Box, kind of her nickname because she lives in her little bubble. And now being older, I can see all those characters in my life. Like, I meet some people and I'm like, oh my God, that's the typical Box, you know, like. So it just kind of, I don't want to say that I claim them with that right away, but it's kind of helping me understand them a little better. If sometimes you're like, why are you doing this, you know, or you're just too much of a different people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. What is your weakness as an athlete?
My weakness. I would say not caring enough, because I wouldn't go to sleep on time sometimes. Right now, I don't really like do much at home in a way that like exercises and all of that, which I know is gonna haunt me later. But at the same time, when I'm at practice, I try to make it worth my time being there. But still, when I'm away from the pool, I will skip the lunch and would eat McDonald's instead of the lunch before practice, and then will feel absolutely sick during practice. So I guess it is a medal with two sides, you know. So it's good at the meet when I don't care, but it's pretty bad when I don't care the rest of the time.
All right. What is your favorite food?
My favorite food? Oh, that's a tough one. I have two. It's probably pasta, any sort of pasta. Just pasta, no protein, pasta with no sauce. I don't know, just pasta. Or pasta with absolutely everything in it. And the second one would be probably a cuisine. Not cuisine, but like a type of kitchen. Yeah, cuisine. That's what you call it, right? Korean food. I really, really love that.
Okay.
But interestingly enough, when I went to Korea, I got the biggest food poisoning, and for 4 days straight, I wasn't swimming. And I was there actually at Worlds last summer, so I got super sick. Yeah. But American interpretation of Korean cuisine, I would say.
All right. And if anyone needs to really know, I have an awesome borscht recipe that I got from Anna a few days ago. I was like, I remember her saying that was
Yeah.
one of the things she missed about being home, and I feel like making some borscht. So reached out to her, and so if you guys need a recipe, let me know. I've got a good one.
Yeah, it's definitely my favorite Russian food, that's for sure. Pretty hard to make.
Oh yeah, I haven't made it yet, but I've got a lot of time, so it'll be coming up here soon.
Yeah.
All right, last question. What is your advice to the young swimmers at Noblesville? As all that you've seen and all of your experiences, what's the biggest piece of advice you can give them?
From what I've experienced myself, and I've seen a lot of kids and even older swimmers go through it. When they see a bad time on the scoreboard, they kind of go and start regretting all the little things they didn't do and they knew about it, all the times that they didn't put their 100% effort at practices, and just little things like this, and that they weren't practicing their turns the way they were supposed to during practice. They didn't listen to their coach and were skipping practices, just stuff like that. Just that moment of regret when they really go, and I went through that, not gonna lie, and still do sometimes. I think the easiest way to get through that is just when you're in practice or at the moment when you're like, I don't want to do this, you think to yourself and just try to imagine how it's gonna impact you after your race. Are you gonna be proud of you did that or didn't do that? And is it gonna be worth it? I understand, for me right now, not doing something physically wise, it's probably going to save my back a little and my knee, but it's going to help me later at swimming, and I'm going to be like, oh, I wish I could have done that. But you can't go around and a lot of kids blame their coaches and oh, you didn't tell me and all of that. No, you're the one swimming. You're the one doing all the job in and out of the pool. The coach can make you do anything. It's up to you, And yes, sometimes the times don't come right away, and swimming is an unfair sport. You can be working your absolutely best and still not getting anything, not dropping times, especially when you're kind of at that age of 15 and up from 15 when your growth process is not as big anymore, so you are not dropping 10 seconds at a time. It's really hard to stay away from not believing in yourself, but just try to stay away from regret and from blaming people around you, and try to avoid that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And at the end of the day, swimming is not the end of the world. And even if it doesn't work out for you, you're going to be great at something else. You're only going to be doing that for so long, It's only a small part of your life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Anna, I cannot thank you enough. What time is it in Russia right now?
Let's see. It's 8:43 p.m.
Yeah, 8:40. It's 9:40.
No, wait. No, 6:43 p.m. Sorry.
Yeah, so it's she's getting ready to probably get some dinner and enjoy a nice evening. And when we're recording this here in Indiana, it's 9:43 a.m. So that's just
yeah,
pretty cool. So and I can't thank you enough for doing this. This was awesome. I hope you get healthy.
Thank you.
Yeah, stay healthy and stay happy, and hopefully we'll stay in touch. And good luck with all your swimming in the future.
Thank you. Good luck to all the kids that are going to see this. You got a great coach, so make him proud.
Well,
right. Thank you for doing that.
Well, thank you, Anna. We will see you guys next time, Noblesville.